It's your girl again today. Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for joining. How's everyone doing? I'm trying to be healthy today, y'all. Going clean today. Lemon and infused lemon and cucumber. And some drops of lemon as well. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. How's everyone doing? It's my third IG live and I am super excited. I didn't actually think I would be loving this IG live experience, but it is really, it's a humbling time really. And I'm just happy to be doing this. So for those of you who have joined the first two and are joining again today, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yes, today it's going to be totally different. I hope you're getting your husbands and your brothers and your uncles and your nephews to listen in, because today we're hearing from a man. It's a man's perspective today. So more than anything, I think you need to get the men in your life to listen to this. I can see my guest is here, but before bringing him online, I'll just say a few things and then I'll get him online and we kind of chop it up. There's lots of questions for him and I want to make sure that we kind of get the most out of it. I will try as much as possible to read some of the comments. Can't promise, but I'm sure Yemi is going to cover lots of the questions even before you guys ask anyway. So a quick intro. Yemi, I'm going to let him introduce himself when he comes on. But I'd say Yemi and I were sort of family friends. I'm actually friends with his wife. And we've been friends for, I think, nearly or coming up to 10 years now or so. So I'd say we are family friends. I've had a few people asking me, also, you know Yemi, so you know Yemi. Well, actually, if I didn't know him, I'm a talk show host, so I can DM anyone I want to. Also, Yemi is actually the one that's kickstarted this whole Instagram live for me, because with the whole lockdown, I've also been mentally locked down. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way as well, where you sort of feel like, you know what, with this whole lockdown, I just want to sleep and wake up in my pajama and have a shower and be in my pajama. But he actually kind of started this whole thing because he was like, chill, let's do something. Let's go on live. Let's help people. There are a lot of questions that people want to answer. And I was like, oh. But you know what? I mean, we're here today and it's actually been amazing. So I will bring Yemi on now and then let's kickstart this whole conversation. I'm really excited. And like I said, get all the men in your life to tune in. Let them come and learn a thing or two. So I will join Yemi and we're going to be having all things with Yemi Edun. I need my guest now. Yemi, I've just sent you an invite. Hopefully, network has been really good. Yemi is saying you can't join. You might need to use your mobile phone. I know you were trying to use your iPad, but I've tried to add you on now, but it's not working. So you might just need to use your mobile phone and disconnect from Wi-Fi so we can have a very good network, uninterrupted network. Whilst I'm waiting for Yemi to join in, thanks guys for joining. You can let me know where you're joining in from: London, Lagos, wherever, Abuja, America, Canada. Just send the love. And if at any point you're enjoying what I'm saying or what Yemi is saying, feel free to use the heart button and show some love. And that's the only way, because I can't really read all the comments. I'm not wearing my glasses. So if you see me squinting, just know I'm trying to read. But today it's going to be fun. I am going to try one more time to add Yemi to see. 1 second. Ooh. Yemi, can you please try to maybe join using your phone, or just send a message to me to let me know, or send a message on this line, not on my phone, so let me know what's going on. Hey, Bola Kale. Hey, Kale Majex. I see you guys. Women's World, Temilola, thanks for joining. The design platform, girl, you've been loyal, third time counting. Well done. African Mommy, thank you for joining. Sugar, 1 second. I think I said something sugar now. Sugar Daddy. Oh, thanks for joining. I hope you guys are getting your husbands tuning in because the conversation is about to be lit. So yeah, thanks to you guys. Yemi, I am still waiting for you. So hopefully it's going to be fun. The conversation today with Yemi is going to be from a man's perspective. I personally want to know how he's been coping with the lockdown. You know how these men like to be out and about every time, but now they can't be out and about all the time anymore. So they're actually locked up. I think the men are locked up, the women are locked down. So it'd be good to understand how he's been coping and managing this whole thing. And for those who know him as well, we know he's a serial entrepreneur. But I'll let him talk about that once he joins. Yemi, I can't join you. I'm going to try one more time and then wait for you to join in. I tried to have him on earlier, but it wasn't working. So let's just give him a couple more minutes. Thanks, guys, for joining. Again, I said before you guys join, just let me know where you're tuning in from. Your location would be great. And if you're loving anything at all during this conversation, please use the heart button at your bottom right hand and show some love. I hope you guys are ready and willing to learn today, because I am. Just really waiting for my guest to get back. Okay, I think I can add him now. Let me think that's how to do it. Go live with Yemi. Brilliant. I think it's connecting now. I think it's connecting. Well, let's hope I'm not connected to Wi-Fi though. Thank you guys for joining. Lady Onyi, thanks for joining. As I was saying earlier on, so apart from talking to Yemi about what life on a lockdown really means for him as a father, as a husband, as a businessman, as a football lover, I would also be talking to him about the impact of the lockdown, what it means right now, and what it will mean post-lockdown to business owners, to individuals, and I guess the family as a whole. Yeah, I know people have been losing jobs. Businesses are struggling, and I think a lot of business will struggle to actually come back post the lockdown. So it'd be good to actually hear from someone who's out there who understands the economy a lot more. I like to speak to people who know more about stuff than I do. I mean, I learn. So it should be great. Now I feel like I'm talking too much now, but hey, I actually earn money talking. Okay. I earn a living talking. So I don't ever want to hear anybody tell me I talk too much, because that's how I get my bread. Okay, Yemi, I'm going to try again. It just says waiting for you. I'm going to try one more time, and then maybe you can request. Okay, let's do that. It's just saying waiting for you to join. Oh, perfect. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. We're just waiting. Oh, Lord, what's going on? We're waiting. Thanks, guys, for joining. I'm just trying to connect my guest, Yemi Edun, to join us now. We have so much questions, though, so I'm just really conscious of time. Oh, he just said he left. Go live with Yemi Edun. Yemi, if that doesn't work, do you want to try your personal IG page? Because it's just not working. I don't know why. Apologies, guys. I don't trust Wi-Fi at all. And as a rule of thumb, I do tell my guests to disconnect the Wi-Fi and just use data. I think this is probably the challenge we're having at the moment. Hi, Kemi. Thanks for joining. Thank you guys for joining. Just be patient. As you're joining, please let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're tuning in from London, if you're tuning in from Manchester, from America, just let me know, please. Thank you. Oh, technical challenge. What is going on? Yeah, let's try your personal and let's see if that works. Go live with Yemi Edun. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. We're having some technical issues here. Oh, hallelujah. Perfect. See if that works. I hope you're not connected to your Wi-Fi, though.
I don't even know. I've tried everything.
Man, just disconnect that Wi-Fi right now and let's use the data. Thank you for joining. How are you?
Very well. Good day.
Yes. I am particularly excited. I hope Temi is watching as well. I'm really excited to have you on here. Just before you join, I was saying to people that my starting the Instagram live was because you and Temi reached out. Temi is Yemi's wife, reached out to me, and Yemi was like, let's do this and let's help people. There are people out there that want to know, what to do and how to cope with the whole pandemic, with the whole lockdown. And it sort of took us about 2 weeks to actually finally get you on, the busy man. So thank you so much. I know a lot of people are really keen to hear from you, especially as I haven't really been having lots of men on the show. So thank you so much for coming. Is the network okay, guys? And Yemi, can you hear me very well?
Clearly.
Perfect. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself because you're a man of many talents, lots of interest. You're a serial entrepreneur. You do a lot that I don't know. So I'm just going to let you have the floor, own the floor, and just tell us a little bit about, well, not a little bit, tell us about you, who you are, what you're into, and then we'll kickstart from there.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. It's a wonderful day. And I have to commend your style of production. Yemi Edun is a gentleman that turns keys, property consultant based in London, King's Cross, London. The business has grown organically over the last 2 decades. We've done over 2,000 property transactions, prime property in London. I'm happily married with 3 wonderful children. I have different passions, from photography to football to arts to history. I'm borderline an addictive brisk walker, and the lockdown has given me the opportunity of doing between 10 to 15 kilometers every day. I can go on and on, but
I know, right? I know. So, we're probably going to be here till forever if I let you just go on and on. But it's interesting that you're able to sort of manage so much. I don't know how you do it, but one thing that I know of Yemi is that he's a very humble man. He's a very, very humble man. For those who know, know. He's not one of those ones that big himself up. So thank you so much, and for obviously gracing the Joe Maxwell Show platform to come and share some of your insight. Really appreciate it. So let's start. Before we get into the business side of things, we want to get to know you a little bit more. And I can see there are a lot of men online, and trust me, they're only tuning in because it's a man this time around. So the first question that I have with you is, and you said you're a family man, you're married, happily married, 3 children, right? And this whole lockdown thing, it's new for everybody. And I think especially the men, let's talk about how you have been able to cope as a family man with this lockdown. So we're going to start with the family and then we'll slowly move into business.
Well, obviously no one planned for this. So there was no room to prepare for it. And, on a normal day, the work, family balance, lifestyle balance, it's huge pressure anyway. So when it all kicked off and we had to stay at home from the 23rd, the first thing is, how will the children, how would we survive? Let's forget about how they will survive. How would we survive with home tutoring? We, from the business point of view, we had to follow some members of the team. And, these are people that have been with you for years. There was a lot of uncertainty out there. And for the family, because I'm a service provider, my job entails dealing with people every day. And with dealing with people, you get shocks here and there. There's no two similar days, So we're used to adapting. But this has really, really, really tested my patience.
I think even the chameleon will be struggling right now, right? With everything going on. So before we thanks for sharing that. Before we go, I'm just I want us to take a step at a time. We'll come into the business side of things. But I think I've got one or two more questions. Well, actually, maybe one more. So I know that you're a family man. You're very into your family. You're so family oriented. And I know that you've been really helping out with homeschooling, right? So this is good for all the men here. You're just leaving the homeschooling to the moms. Tell us the challenges that you have faced and if there are any tips that you can pass out to the men out there. Let's just hear from you. Let's just focus on the struggle, because I know it's a struggle. I'm doing it at the moment, and so tell us how you've been coping with that and any tips that you can give us.
Well, I would start off with a caveat that there's no manual to it, and because every family is different and every child is quite unique, So I have to deal with a 12-year-old that should be independent, and but you have to still keep an eye on her to see that she's on top of the materials that she's dealing with. Also, the 6-year-old being a boy, I start off with maths because they easily get distracted, so try and get that out of the way before 10 a.m. Then I have the little one, 23-month-old who wonders why she can't get involved with the older siblings, in the day. But after the first 2-3 days, we now have formed a pattern. I must say that I'm actually now understanding it better. It's giving me an insight into how teachers operate and appreciate them better. And I actually wouldn't mind dedicating a day or two to continue this after, our life gets back, because I can see the value in the one-to-one I'm having with a young man.
Bravo, Yemi. I like that. And I hope the men are hearing. Yeah. And I think one beautiful thing about this whole lockdown is it's forced everyone to slow down. It's helped us to spend more time with our family, at least with the children, and it's made us value family time and doing things with the children. So thank you so much for sharing that insight, Yemi. Next question that I have for you, as a football lover, and I'm sure a lot of men here can attest to that. Can I just speak on behalf of women all over the world that we are happy that the Premier League is on pause, because finally we can get your attention. The men can hear us, right? So it's not like, it's that competition having two wives in the house. Football and the real wife is like, which one should you pay attention to? So I'm speaking on behalf of some women to say, we're glad that the football is not going on and we can kind of get your full attention. The question to you is, how has this affected or actually impacted you? Because I know that you were sold out. Football is like you were football. Actually, maybe you're in the middle, football property. So how have you coped?
Well, football is beyond a hobby or entertainment to me. It's more lifestyle. I've been able to intertwine it with the business as well. So I have meetings, in the stadium. So it's made this a proper lockdown, because I don't know which one is more lethal, being stopped from going to the office or being stopped from seeing live footballs. I would encourage the women to enjoy this time, because when everything kicks off, you won't be seeing our backs.
I can hear Temi like laughing back in the background. Temi, let's enjoy it, Let's just carry on and enjoy. Carry on, Yemi.
Yeah, so when football comes, we'll be out there in full throttle, But it's been It's been, I think, I'm not sure which one is worse, the office or the football, you know.
Well, you can let us, we can be the judge, okay? Because we're benefiting all of this. Just having you guys' attention full time, it's amazing. Like, it is, I love seeing my husband at home. As in, let us just sit down and be watching each other. Like, this is okay. Just let's. So, yes, and I'm hoping that post lockdown, you guys won't just literally go all the way back into football. You try to balance things out and, you know, get us involved as well. Yeah, hopefully, right? Yemi, you can't even pledge to that.
No, I told you earlier that once football kicks off, you won't see our back. You won't see.
I wonder how many men agree. I mean, there are lots of men on. Do you all agree to what he's saying, or do you kind of think, well,
I'm sure the men would give me thumbs up to that.
Well, there's been a few thumbs up actually. I'm just not sure what they're thumbing up to. Great, thanks, Yemi. It's good to sort of know your sort of on not too serious side. So you talked about your family life, your love for football, and I think I want us to just delve into business right now, like serious business. We know what's going on right now. People are losing their jobs. Business owners are suffering. I know you haven't been able to open your business for a while, and you alluded a few minutes ago to the impact it's having on some of your employees. People are having to lose their jobs. There's a lot of uncertainty out there. And I just want to focus right now as a property mogul. I mean, that's what you're really known for, right? Over the last 2 decades, Yemi, Edun, I mean, so truth be told, I've had a lot of people, a lot of guys WhatsApping me saying, also, you know, Yemi, so you know, Yemi, oh, I know him, he helped with this property, he helped with that property, a few connections, blah, blah, blah. So I know that you're a very humble, popular person out there. So I want us to talk about the impact this is currently having on property and also what's to come within the property industry. I can see a few property people logged in as well, but you've been in the business way longer than some of us, so please tell us.
Well, I would like to say this. There are two sets of experts out there. The experts that don't know, and the experts that don't know that they don't know. You know, nobody knows the future right now because we've never experienced this. We can't compare this to the 9/11 crisis. We can't compare this to the July 7 bombing. We can't compare it to the recession in 2008. We can't compare it to Brexit, you know. We're on pause, so to speak. Thankfully, the government has reacted with a lot of palliatives. The truth is, a lot of people are on fallen. And fallen is a trendy word for, redundancy,
Pretty much, yeah. I think my understanding is you can only be on that for so long, and after that, it kicks you out of the payroll system, correct?
Yeah. So there are so many dynamics that we've had to adapt to, and we're adapting to. A lot of people's savings will be depleted after this period. Would they be able to afford to buy a property? We have about £82 billion worth of transaction locked up. Some of them would not be able to proceed. This is devastating. There's no two ways to look at it. It is not a joke. What I'm advising people that are thinking of buying or are very close to buying now is hang on, because you don't want to pay too much. Realtors or estate agents don't make the market. The market is dictated by the sellers and the buyers. So it's when the transaction starts and the way people react that would let us know what is the right price to pay, But valuation can be done. Last week, most of the banks came up that they won't be looking at bonuses as part of their appraisal for granting mortgages. That would be tough on the city workers because some people's mortgage is even higher than their salary. So these are changing. Things are changing every day. You send me a message about 3 minutes before coming up live. Oh, are they extending the lockdown? So everybody is in real-time mode. I presume, most likely tomorrow it will be extended because we are still endangered. The spike is not. We are not down to the tens yet. So. I think people are more educated about it. We are more prepared. The medical team are more prepared. But every life lost is a big loss to a father, someone's father, someone's son. So, so we shouldn't, jeopardize our safety in any form.
Thank you. Thank you for sort of alluding to the stay home and be safe conversation. So, two questions that I just sort of want to ask off the back of what you've just said. Thanks for shedding that light, actually. So I was having a chat with someone, I think about a few days ago, and she was saying this whole situation is a leveler, right? It's a pretty humbling situation. It's a leveler. And this is where, the rich and the middle class are everyone is sort of on the same level now because it's hitting real fast. And for those who probably have many businesses that are going to struggle versus the ones that maybe have a job and want businesses are probably going to start being at the same level economically. Can you sort of shed some light to that and maybe give examples, good examples? I don't want to say so much on that. Hopefully you can kind of educate us on how a regular person can be. Yeah,
leveler, because primarily we serve a large West African audience. Most of our client base come from Nigeria, Ghana, and other West African countries. Because of the restriction on flights, it would impact, And this is pretty much global, so everywhere, even if you're a Nigerian that has 4 passports, you can't go anywhere, So in that regard, I would say it's a leveler. I've seen tenants that have been our tenants for years, paying rent of over £5,000 a month, never defaulted, never paid their rent late, pleading that, look, we've lost our job. And you see, the funny thing about the follow-up is it works for someone earning £2,500 or £3,000. If you're on £10,000, follow doesn't work because, you have your outgoings and you are restricted to 1,750 net, Even if you have an au pair, probably, car, mortgages and all that. In that regard, it's a leveler. People are tasting poverty for the first time,
Firsthand. 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 And it's interesting you kind of sort of mentioned a few things around the house. So back in January, my husband and I, after 10 years of leaving nannies, we decided, we would probably try without having one. And these services are quite expensive, about $1,200. They leave in, they pay no bills, about $1,200, $1,500 per month that we pay them. And so we went to, we're not going to do that. Let's just manage between ourselves. So it was a new experience for myself, for my husband, for the children. But actually, with this whole lockdown, with everything uncertainty happening around, and thankfully, we don't have to pay for nursery for at least a little one. We've got a 3-year-old just to go to nursery. The combination of the nursery fees and not having the nanny is about £300,000 a month. Bro, that's like good in the bank because I don't know how people are going to cope with not having a job and being able to send the kids to, not trying to say anything, but I can't imagine how much impact it would have on us if we still had to add that extra £3,000 on it. So it's a real humbling time. And it's a time where I think everybody needs to be evaluating their expenses, their outgoing, and be very realistic with what it is that we're spending on. Do we really need to spend that much money? Do we really need that particular thing? And I think that's what we need to start doing, because I know personally, again, I'm not, you're the expert here. I know that the struggle is not here yet. The struggle is only when we are back, once the lockdown is over, when we now have to pay the nursery fees, when we now have to travel to work, when all the bills are back on and 3 months holiday pay is over, and the bills are really coming out and there's no job. That is really, really when we would all know the what's up. The question to you, Yemi, is how would you encourage people to sort of start thinking ahead, about the expenses right now? Because if you don't get your acts together right now, in 3-4 months' time, it'll be too late. Can you just educate us on that, please, Yemi?
I believe people are only expending on essential, because really there aren't many opportunities for frivolities. Maybe you have a subscription on for Netflix. I expect everybody to have turned off their extras on Sky by now. I expect everyone to go through their bank statement, and your gym subscription should be off, and probably not go back, because if you have been able to survive for 7 weeks, and hopefully you realize that a walk around the streets will do the same thing. People have to adapt. You don't need to tell them this is real. This is not a joke. And the kids are at home. They are eating more. I saw a comment. Someone placed a comment on the screen that
tell me about that.
Yeah, some people are saving, but the majority of people are spending more. And if you're saving and you're not even sure if your business will still be there in a month or two, if you're not sure that your employment is assured, you're saving today, but what happens tomorrow? So you don't need to advise anyone now. Everybody understands the import of addressing and because I never knew that these kids had the capacity.
They eat a lot,
I never knew. So I'm learning, and I'm learning fast. We would adapt. We are human beings. We would adapt. A lot of people would have to take a step back. You don't need to buy shoes. The nail studios are not open. I wonder how you still.
Bro, let me just show you my nail. My nail right now is struggling, for real. For those who for real, and I haven't died. I'm okay.
But
so you're absolutely right.
There's a little. Everybody has to adapt. In the property scene, the auction houses have started online auctions. So we have.
Okay. Okay. We're losing you, Yemi. We're losing you. Yemi, we're losing you. I'm losing you. I don't know if everyone else is losing you, but the network is a little bit.
Hello?
Yemi, we're losing you. We can't hear you.
Hello?
I can't hear you. I think you've got to. Hopefully, you're not connected to Wi-Fi. But we're struggling. Your audio, yeah.
No. Is it better? Is it better?
Carry on.
Can you hear me?
Everyone is saying they can't. Yeah, I think you're back now, guys. If you can hear me, can you just say? Can you just show pressing the hard button, please? Because I'm struggling to hear him. Okay. I think I've lost you. Yemi, try not to move away from where you are. I think that's why we're struggling. Yemi, just maybe go back to where you were before and maybe just...
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, perfect. Yes.
Okay. Someone is offering to send me data. I wouldn't mind.
What an insult! Listen up. We don't need data here in the UK. We just need to disconnect Wi-Fi and let one trump. But hopefully, yes. Now we have Yemi back on now. So carry on, Yemi.
Yeah, so I was saying that we are human beings who would adapt. I didn't know if you heard about the online auction. The auction houses have started doing online auction, and they were able to do over £40 million. Some of the auction houses in April.
Amazing!
We would adapt as human beings. It's going to be very tough. I hear people saying that when would we go back to normal? You know, we have to now learn how to live differently. There are so many excesses.
This is the new normal.
Yeah, there are so many excesses that we never knew were excesses that we have to come to terms with, that we don't really need. When I go for my walks, I see so many cars in drives, and I just wonder, do we really need so many cars? You know, so.
Some tea there. You're spilling some tea, Yemi. Ooh, but carry on.
Yeah, so for any business, for any entrepreneur, it's a worrying time. When you go out and see the high streets, the shops are locked. Would they be open again? And there are so many. In the property world, we say the 3Ds, impact the market, which are debt, divorce, and debt. This with pressures like this, these things are bound to happen. But absolutely. I would just like to encourage everyone. Some people have been married for over 20 years, and this is the first time that, as a stretch, they are living with their spouse, they are living with their kids.
Amen. It's real time out there, y'all. Yeah. And the struggle is real.
Absolutely. But we just have to try to adapt. And like I said, with the kids, there's no manual. You have to define how you want to deal with it, But the little things is, for our community, there's so many help out there. Some people are not aware that they qualify for the help. There's so many help out there. The government released the bounce back palliative on Monday.
What is the bounce back?
Bounce back is a 100% guaranteed loan, which is up to £50,000.
Right.
But it is tied to the turnover of the company. So 25% of the turnover of the company. It's pretty straightforward. You can get the money in your account within in the next 24 hours. You can get more information at the uk.gov. Limited companies, self-employed, contractors, would, once they file.
Contractors, can you hear? There's 0% interest free for 12 months, so let's go and apply. First payment, 12 months into it. I'm just goofing around, but thanks for sharing that, because I don't think a lot of people actually know that. And there's so many. Are there any other release out there that you like?
There's so many, and anybody can DM me. When you asked about the business, there are so many ventures that we're involved in. We have an accounting firm. They've been working extra, so we have our own accounting firm who are there to advise people to help put these things through as well. But the what I see happening post COVID is the fact that some professions will do very well, like the accountants, because they can work from home. Areas with
IT?
very good IT, yeah. Locations with good Wi-Fi, broadband, fiber optics. will become sought after. Properties with gardens, because we realize that, look, we need this space. Imagine if you have to live in a small apartment with your kids. The days you go out to work for 8-10 hours, it doesn't really matter. But we've seen Absolutely. That there are more interest for properties with gardens, But everybody should just try to calm down, right? Don't rush into anything, especially buying a property. There are not many things we're going to buy in our lifetime that will be more expensive than a property. You don't want to get it wrong, When is the best time to buy? Is when you can afford, but you don't want to pay too much, I'm sure you know that we are acquisition agents, and what that means is that we act for the buyer. So we are like a buyer's agent, We can have a non-obligatory initial conversation. We can direct you. You don't have to instruct us we do this for a lot of people. But if you want us to take it further, you have to instruct us. But it's best to speak to people that know what they are doing. There are so many donuts out there. There are so many donkeys out there that you don't want to fall prey.
You're right. Thanks for that.
There's a question here that says, what will you say to someone
mid-purchase? Absolutely, yeah. That's a very good one.
I'll just say, old fire, once you've not exchanged, don't proceed. It's a buyer's market now. Your seller needs you more than you need him or her. Word. And, for more on how to deal with it, you can DM me. But old fire, there's no point. We now have before COVID, and we'll be having after COVID, right? The price agreed January, February are no longer tenable, because there are no comparables to use. When we get there, maybe August, September, we'll deal with it. I've had so many discussions with valuers, and they're saying that, look, they can't put a value to a property now.
So I echo you on that one. Definitely.
Yeah. So there's a follow-on question on that. Okay, what he says, what if it's a tenanted property with a good investment? Well, before COVID, people were happy with a return of 3 to 4% yield, right? But I wouldn't be advising any of my clients to go in at that now, because if you buy with a yield of 4%, with the
that's a lot. It's gonna drop anyway.
With the prevalent, with the pre-COVID prices, that might drop to 1 or 2%. So
absolutely,
you should look. Just wait.
Yeah.
There would always be properties to buy.
And you know what? Right now, cash is king. Save your money. I think just hold your money. Be logging onto your bank account and be seeing the numbers. It's okay. Like Yemi rightly said, there will be lots more opportunities. There will be a lot. It's going to be the buyer's market. So yes, I do agree. Just keep your money. Like
there's a question on the that. If you have your property on the market. If you have your property on the market and someone is ready to pay for it, get ready for them to draw a hard bargain, right? If you are happy with it, take the money and run. It is a buyer's market. A lot of people that were planning to buy would have depleted their savings. Some banks would not be able to grant mortgages because some industries are not as solid as we thought they were. If you think of models, if you think of people in the pub industry, if you think of people in the entertainment industry, we have a tenant that rents out tricycles in the West End. He never, his rent was always on time. It's packed up because there's no West End now. There's no tourists to ferry around. So lending criteria will change as well, So if you get someone that can afford to buy your property now, please take the money. But on the flip side, If you're buying, hold on.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. That's very insightful. I'm not sure we can go through all the questions though. Just really conscious.
Someone just asked about the market bounce back.
I don't think so.
Look, nobody knows. But the reality is, a great proportion of people that will follow might not be back to work. The banks don't want to go back to 2008. They are more responsible. The stress test is more rigid, so you can't just get a mortgage. The loan to value now you is basically you require 15% equity. I know there is help to buy, but remember that with help to buy, there is no plan B. You can't rent out a room. So you have to stay there. You have to pay the mortgage, So tread with caution. Hold on. There's no rush. This is England. You would get a property, but you don't want to be the one to pick the bad one.
Absolutely. You are spot on that. Literally spot on that. Yeah. Okay, I can see someone is saying, personally, the recession, can't see properly. It's going to last for 5 to 7 years. I think it's truly an uncertain, we're in a very, very uncertain time, and nobody knows. Lots of speculations here and there. Again, we all have to just be prepared. Keep your money and just wait to see what's to come. So yeah. Next question that I have for you, Yemi, is I do have a series of questions here. Again, just sort of to get to know you more. And whilst we're talking about properties, if you had to choose 1-bedroom flat in Knightsbridge versus 5-bedroom house in Bishopsgate, which will you choose and why?
Well, it depends on time and season.
Just choose one. No, it's a simple question. There's no it depends. Exam. Which will you choose and just why?
Wait. Is it as an investor or as a family man?
I don't know. Just which will you choose?
Well, I can't fit my family in
why?
I can't fit my family in a 1-bed apartment, even if it's in Mayfair, As it is, I'm struggling to survive with them. So
in that your mansion, no? It is well.
So I won't be able to. I would rather, regardless, it doesn't even have to be in Bishop's Avenue. I would take a 5-bed in. I don't want to mention any area so anybody won't feel that you are running down their area. I would take a 5-bed in Manchester. Let's put it that way.
Over that, right? I mean, evidently, as a business, as a family man, you definitely need the space. You need the garden. You need to be able to lock the children in one room and let them get on with their bed. So that's good. I'm glad in a way that you kind of thought about it.
As an investor, I would take a room.
There you go.
As an investor, I would take a room, not even a flat. A room. I would take a room.
We all know that. Hence why I really wanted you to pick and decide, which you take first. But I'm kind of happy that you kind of went with the family first before business. So that's good. Thumbs up for you. The next question is, if you had an hour to spend with Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, who will you choose and why?
Warren Buffett probably won't make it to London with his age now, so it will be Bill Gates.
Well, I mean, they might be flying you over to meet them wherever. So, but you have an hour. You have an hour with either of the two. Who would you choose and why?
Well, Bill Gates. I think he's more dynamic because it's not just about money. Money itself is an act, and once you understand the principle, you make it. You might not make it to the level of Bill Gates, but really, how much money do you really need? Not really for. I don't expect him to start teaching me how to make money, but I look up to him for his charitable. Yeah. Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you, sorry.
Yeah.
I can hear you perfectly well.
Yeah. So I've been asked this question once, right? And all I would ask him is to visit my office. These guys write.
I like that. I'm gonna visit my office. I like that. And you see, that's the confidence a lot of us need, I like how you've spoken. Like, come and meet me. I don't have to come and meet you where you are. Come over to my office and let's have a conversation. I mean, that's confidence right there. But of course, I'm speaking to
No, what I'm trying to point out is if I have an opportunity for a request, right? All the principles of how they became successful are already in books. So I don't need that. I just need to read those books.
Yeah.
And if I have a meeting with him in his office, nobody will know about that. Maybe you post a picture in Instagram. But imagine inviting Warren Buffett to your office and I get Evening Standard. I'll give them a tip to wait.
That's right.
In front of my office. Yeah.
A real businessman right there. A real businessman. Because I think even me, I'll be like, oh, we'll come. Where should we go to? But I think just hearing this, I'll be like, yeah, meet me in my, well, I don't have an office yet. But, meet me in my domat. So I like that. That's really good. And hopefully some of us, we've heard that and hopefully we can apply that. It might not be Bill Gates, it might not be Warren Buffett, but there's an opportunity that comes your way. Be bold, hold it, grab it, and run with it. I really like that advert, that promo thing. In fact, yeah, I have learned a lot actually. I don't know about you guys, but you're a real businessman because the way you think is definitely different from the way an ordinary man will think. So I kind of beg to say you're not the ordinary man, at least that I know for a fact. So thank you so, so very much. One final thing that I've got, because I'm really conscious of time. It's been such an amazing time, Yemi, having you here. And maybe we might have to do this again. We'll see what people say. If they want us to do this again, we might have to do it again in a few weeks' time. Talking about the Nigerian economy, I'm not really seeing, a few people know that I'm really not into all of this conversation, but knowing now that the Naira is really devalued, it was about 502 Naira yesterday to a pound. And it's, SHIT is about to hit the fan with Nigeria economy. Quickly, just tell us what do you think? What's going to happen to Nigerian currency? What's going to happen to the economy? Does this really mean that we're really seeing the value of Naira? And what should we be doing with our pounds now? Should we be sending it home, or just tell us your thoughts?
I've been cracking some jokes in the last couple of weeks that over the years we've been doing Western Union. It's about time we start getting Eastern Union.
I agree. I agree.
But on a more serious note, Naira is overvalued. It has been overvalued. The dynamics don't. It doesn't match. The budget is projected at $55 or $52 to barrel, and Brent oil is doing about 15 to 20. So tough times are with there. But Nigerians are very resilient set of people. I don't think the diaspora has more in the tank. The diaspora has really carried the home front for many years, and we are under fire as well now. But it's Nigeria. I think there are other options that have been overlooked over time. I think they just have to go back to that. They have to go back to that. Nigeria is one of the countries that can come to Britain and there's no culture shock. If you remember 2 decades ago, there are some Nigerians that used to do cleaning. You hardly find anybody doing cleaning that's Nigerian now. They stepped up the social ladder. Why are we not producing nurses, doctors, plumbers, handymen? Britain one of the benefits of, I think, of Brexit is the fact that the Commonwealth will benefit from this. We are like relatives, you know. At times, you are not friends with your neighbors, which Brexit has brought up. But regardless of where your relatives are, you go looking for them. And whenever Britain is in trouble, be it the war, be it that of skill sets, they always turn to Australia, Uganda, Ghana for teachers, for nurses. So I think there are so many opportunities, but people like the big stuff. You know, maybe we should just you know rejig things and start from another angle.
Absolutely spot on. Thank you so much, Yemi. It's been a very humbling experience having you here. I am thrilled. I can see that our viewers are thrilled as well. Thank you so much. Are there any last words, just a few words that you'd like to leave our viewers with before we kind of sign out?
Well, on the property front, I just want to reiterate that remember that the unborn child will still have a property, will still buy a property in London. So don't rush in taking that decision. Take the right decision. And I just want to encourage everybody, you know, we've been able to survive this. You know, we are not away. We are in London. We are home. And we've been able to survive 7 weeks, right? It just shows the depth we have. So keep your heads high, you know. We've not offended God. It's a, you know, and we'll all come out of this stronger. You know,
definitely.
Stay safe.
Definitely. Thank you so very much, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks, Yemi, for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. And see you guys next week. I have a few other sessions lined up for next week. And hopefully the fun continues. Have a great afternoon, everyone. And see you again pretty much same time next week. Have a good one.